Okay, so we are so blessed to be back with the wonderful channeler of a huge variety of countless beings from Odyssey of Ascension, my dear friend through the eons, Roxanne Swainhart. Hi, Roxy. It's so
Hi,
good to
Dee.
be with you in this glorious now.
Well, I was so happy you asked me back, and I was like, yay, because I
Yeah,
love to play. I love
yes,
to
yes,
play.
it's fun to play. Woohoo.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought we'd start with today because I love when you said about our guides, that our guides are our friends,
Yes.
and you know, this relationship with them, that they're our friends, right? I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? Like, you know, and so I thought we'd just take a moment for anybody who is, you know, so inclined to do so, to just take a moment to acknowledge our guides and feel into their presence and their support and their unconditional love. And just for a moment, I had my own little mantra that I say, which, you know, just for the fun of it, although I don't like to really label, but I'll go like angels and fairies and dragons and guides, serendipities, unicorns, sweetness and light, because those are kind of the ones that I really resonate with. And so
I love that one.
so just feeling, thank you guys for being here, always with us. It's amazing. Yeah, that's unconditional love, right?
Well, sure. I mean, consciousness itself is unconditional. It allows everything to happen. Think
Yeah,
about it. Everything
yeah,
is happening because it's unconditional.
right. Yes,
And the
yes,
reality is the experience of the eye of the beholder. Each
yes.
individual singularity is on their endless journey of forever,
That's right.
which always just freaking makes me so fucking awesome. I was like, I'm so happy because it's like, oh my God, I'm forever.
I know, I
Feels
know.
so good. Oh,
Does, you know, and the thing about it too is that like more and more and increasingly I see it so much, like everybody, like, you know, family or friends or strangers or, you know, anyone, it's
yeah.
like to see their infinite nature. And it's like it's so incredible because there's such a lightness and freedom to it that beneath any kind of surface story or anything, like, we're infinite, man. And, you know, and just seeing it, it's very freeing and very light. And yeah, I love it so much. Isn't it
Yeah.
great? It
Yeah.
seems like it's happening more and more, like more and more people are starting to live that way, I'm finding.
Well, it's because you're changing, so you get those people in your lives.
Ah,
Those are
yeah.
people aren't out there. They're attracted to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're all finding each other, right?
Well,
Resonating at
you're
that.
finding what's valuable to you for your exploration.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like the idea of guides. I looked at guides as at one point as a need, and then another point as a rung of the ladder,
Right.
something to give me permission, give
Right.
me an idea that I can ask someone else. But at some fundamental
Yeah.
point, we don't use guides because we're God.
Yeah. Well, it's like they're
We
playmates.
co-create, right? We co-create. What's that?
Yeah. Oh, that they're playmates, right? Like I find them to be playmates, right?
Sure, of
Like they're
course.
they're very playful and supportive and that kind of thing. But yeah, but then aren't they in a sense just an aspect of ourselves? In some
Well,
sense?
everything is an aspect of yourself from consciousness itself. But
Right.
if Michael itself, Michael is an aspect of you, but he's also a singularity.
Right. Yeah.
Michael, if you're looking at Michael the archangel or Ratziel or Gabriella or whoever you're valuing as a guide,
Right.
but you always have to remember they're friends.
Yes.
We're the ones who forgot are on the master journey, and we're like, okay, guys, I'm going to go down to human. So I'm going to reach up and I need you to give me some advice until, I'm ready to see
Right.
myself, and then we become friends again.
Right. Right.
Because there's no less than an unconditional. There's no
Yeah.
measurement. There's no one in charge, no one's above, no one's below. Any
Mm-hmm.
perspective of that is the human valuing themselves through that truth that gives the experience of the evolutionist, the
Right.
singularity on the journey,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we're
Is it?
all one and one are all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't I don't ask for anything, right? Like, I mean, I don't ask for help or even like for, like, even when I was a child, I believed in God, but I never really asked God for anything as much as I always said, thank you, you know? And it's like the same thing with the guides where they just somehow, like, I just feel their presence and I just like,
Yeah.
oh, hi, thanks, you know, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
not any kind
Even
of,
our
really
presence
kind of,
is
not on a
enough
pedestal, right?
sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, don't put them on a pedestal
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Exactly.
they're not looking at you as below.
Right.
They
Yes.
they can't see that because they don't see conditions. They are unconditional.
Yeah.
The
And
truth of the now of their journey, how we see them and how we see that they see us, is still how we see ourselves. It's
right.
still our interpretation of reality.
Right. Yeah.
Truth will always lie in the eye of the beholder.
Hmm. Always, right? That's why
Yeah,
that's why there's infinite versions of reality out there, because everybody's experiencing it their own
absolutely
way.
fantastic. Yeah,
Incredible.
it is. There's just always more selves, more nows, an infinite number of versions of everything because creation is exploring itself forever. And since there's no conditions, there's no end to it. I mean, think about if there was someone in charge. Well, we couldn't go beyond that one in charge because that one in charge is looking at us as the one that to be measured. So
Right.
we can't go beyond the box of in charge. So since there's nobody in charge, that's why we get to go forever, is because there's an infinite number of expressions always happening to discover consciousness in and of itself.
I'm
Mind
reminded.
blowing.
I'm reminded of that line from the movie Overboard, where like a teacher says to Kurt Russell, like, "These children
Yeah.
have no adult supervision," and he goes, "You don't have to tell me how lucky they are."
You don't have to tell me how lucky they are. Oh,
Like,
man.
there's nobody in charge, so we can, like, it's a free for all
That
here,
was a great movie, wasn't it?
isn't it? Yeah, yeah. When she did that, when Goldie Hawn did that monologue, when she clicked and realized what had happened, she was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
love Goldie
I
and
know.
Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had said these things, I wrote down, that I put them kind of together, but like it and kind of
Hmm.
released it. So like nothing in creation is wrong. Like, stop trying to fix reality.
Yep.
Everything is true, not right or wrong.
Yep.
And there's no standards in the universe. I think that was brought up
Nope.
when somebody was mentioning third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, and that's just an interpretation, right? Or
That's a beholder. I mean, I know I'm in the third density.
right,
It's not a standard. It's an
right.
interpretation yet. My truth is, my knowing is, but see, the human mind doubts things because it's looking for a finite truth to hold on to. The human mind is looking for an idea of a standard because it values a standard as a safe and secure place of identity.
Hmm.
So, and like, if we had standards to live by, then we're always trying to that standard, which is shifting your natural self into an idea of a projected self for the value of an outside source, the standard. Make sense? Kind of,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But,
if
yeah.
I look at, well, the one law of right and wrong. Let me get off you this.
Okay.
Uh, let's look at existence is all true and non-existence is all not true because it's
Okay.
not existing.
Yeah.
So if all truths are true because they're true to you,
Hmm.
so when have you ever been wrong? Whenever you accept, which is your truth, that you are wrong through another, right?
Okay.
So let's look at the chaotic world right now. Let's say people say the COVID virus is fake and it's
Right.
all a conspiracy. That's
Okay.
their truth.
Right.
The person that's experiencing coronavirus, COVID-19, and they had family members or they themselves got sick, and that's their truth.
Right.
Who's wrong?
Right.
Neither.
Right.
Each singularity is the
Mhm.
truth, is the singular idea. That's
Yeah.
what we own is our point of view. We have the ability to transcend our point of view through recognition of the ego or the personality construct we built for the experience of human. Think about it. Let's think about this. Let's think about if we all came down here equal to Pleiadians or equal to Arcturians or Andromedans or any species you want to put up there, blue avians, doesn't matter. If all came as that connectivity, because they're connection, then we don't have polarity. We have the experience of the human, but it's not encouched in separation.
Yeah.
So in order to have the quality separation to actually experience and create the relationship to suffering, to mediocrity, to success, to failure, to hope, to prayer, to need, want, and desire, to the human experience, And that absolute mastery we forget. And through that, we
Mhm.
only build a construct of our truth. And
Mhm.
our truth is obvious what? Let's look at it. Let's say, real easy one. Countries, cultures, religions. What is right? All of them. The one who is that truth.
Mhm.
And whether that truth is a belief or a knowing is irrelevant.
Mhm.
It's only to the self that is relevant. So when you, as an ascender, as a light bearer, recognize the truth in you that sees the world as wrong, then you're understanding yourself as the polarized version of yourself that created an experience through the ability to see right and wrong, good
Right.
and bad, yes
Yeah.
and no,
Yeah.
right? So our wrong is our truth to experience the version of ourselves that gets to be wrong or gets to see things as wrong as objectified, but it's both objectified towards yourself because the only one that says you're wrong is your ego, right?
Right.
That's the point of view you built. So all truths are, everyone's right. But the idea of the separation comes with fear. Oh, if this is this way, this is this, or people are trying to shove it down their throats.
Mhm.
You know, we're trying to tell each other this is the right way, you have to act this right way. That's not the way to do it because we have had preachers and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Having someone follow you, that doesn't work. You don't need followers and you don't need to be a leader. You
Yeah.
need to be an enlightener. An enlightener is a wisdom of self humility constructed as a separated self, knowing no other reality, having the ability in that moment bliss to wake up to the self realized and not to use the human constructs and turn them into a 4D determination, but still use the human tools. In other words, uh, homework becomes bills, right?
What
That's
was
the
that?
adult.
Homework becomes.
Homework, bills. We're still needing to do something. We
Oh.
have responsibility. So, in the idea of an adult, we take job to what's my life's purpose. We take our lover, or our wife or husband, and we turn them into maybe twin flames. So we're still identifying things as the human perspective. Even though we're awake, we have to realize that our truth is not the standard. Our truth is choice. Then you got to be, is that really my truth?
Yeah.
I mean, if someone eats an animal, or if someone chooses to become a vegan, if my criticism on that is my truth, and I see them in the light of conditions,
Mhm.
well, that must be mine because
Mhm.
that's not the standard. You know what the standards are? One, you exist. Two, everything is here and now. Three, what you put out is what you get back. Four, all in one, one or all. Five, change is the only constant except for the first four
Yeah.
laws. So if you look at that, then isn't everything else a choice of relating to reality, which is in and of itself the experience of the evolutionist,
Mhm.
the experience of you, me, Michael, Ratziel, any particular idea, but they're all individual experiences according to the vibration of the self attracting its journey. You know, people want to put all kinds of purposes on this idea, and people want to put conspiracy theories on everything, and they want to determine what happened to have happens if really if
There
the
was a glitch.
chaos itself.
Could you repeat that one? Because it was just a glitch there. Just repeat that last.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry.
the causality of reality. They
Right.
have conspiracy theories
Right.
because the real scariest part about knowing without assigning, the scariest knowing within everybody, what is built in, is there's truly no one in charge.
Uh-huh.
No one's in charge, and we're assigning everything to a purpose, to a meaning, to an outcome. Humans make things into things through truths. So everyone's right. If it's fake to you, it is. But it doesn't make it my truth. If
Mhm.
I agree with you, then we agree. Yippee. But it doesn't mean we make a stance and be separated towards another and then take that person and defile them because they have a point of view.
Yeah.
Because if you feed polarity, well, my goodness, doesn't it stay healthy? If you tell people how to eat, how to dress, how to walk, how to talk, how to think, how to be, then aren't you a preacher? All you've done is taken your religion and you've just changed the colors of the church.
Right.
The enlightener realizes their own truth and has the value of its own certainty as existence, law one, that its truth is allowable. And it doesn't need approval, it doesn't need to be proven, and it doesn't need to be validated by anything else except I am. So the enlightener allows people the authentic realization to deconstruct the valuable self created, the fractal, the ego, to journey. So that's why everyone's truth is truth. That's why there can't be a standard. If we had a box, let's say there is one God in charge, God. And God only can know God this way. And here's all the gods in here. Well, we're going to find the ends. And then creation collapses. God is everything, including me, including you. We're all God, but we're our singular idea. But of course, humans go, well, I'm an old soul. God created me. I was chosen. So we put things in time managing because that's some way our mind works because we knew nothing else. But if we have the humility to realize it's a journey and we can allow truths to transcend, like Bashar said it 1,000 times, when you found a truth, then it's no longer truth. Have the courage to let go of that rung of the ladder. Otherwise, you stay there. And it, to the mind, the ego, the identity, it's very powerful to hold on to it. It's
Yeah.
very powerful. Let's look at a felon. A person that comes out of jail, serves his time, he wants to be an idea of a life. We give him the energy of a felon as a human collective because we say, oh, you're a felon, you're on an application, you have to be judged. So now we energize that person and he accepts that identity because his worth was never given. So now he's a felon. So what's he going to behave like? A felon. Because we energize that because we label to the idea. 20 years ago, he did this. He's out now. We don't care. He was a felon. So we hold on to the identity of another for fear of our own safety and security because we might die, or this person might hurt us, or we don't like that, or this is going to happen. Right now, again, I'm 53 years old. You got some time on Earth as well. Haven't we heard about the end of the world for how long? All the conspiracies, the end of the thing. Oh, now this is the true 2012. It was supposed to end 2 days ago. According to the Julian calendar, opposed to the idea of the other calendar, all of these are truths, but they're the truth to be accepted. They're not truth to be revered unless it is the truth of you. And if it is, then say yes to it, accept it, and journey and explore it.
Yeah.
When it's no longer your truth, have the courage to let go because it doesn't make you any less. Unless, of course, you need that identity. Maybe comfort in numbers. Maybe I belong to the Flat Earth Society. It doesn't matter to me if the Earth is flat or not. I've never seen the Earth from space, so I'm not going to make a judgment on it because I don't care. Because it doesn't need to be anything, but identity needs something. It needs a purpose. It needs a value. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. So the identity is seeking its validation through the idea of acceptance of others, the need and want and desire, the purpose and meaning, which, my goodness, everybody, is not wrong. That's the gift you gave yourself to have, not knowing self.
Yeah.
Think about the depth of that mastery. Outstanding. So yeah,
Yeah. Because
everyone's right.
yeah. And the thing is too, is like as we as we more and more live our daily lives, like just aware of, the fact that we're infinite eternal and there is no end to us, there's like it's harder and harder to take things seriously, to not see below
Yes.
there's all these surface stories and all these different versions and everything, but then to see beneath that we're here playing a game, like, for lack of better words, like
Yep.
we're here playing, and it's
Yep.
almost like entertainment, because it's like
It
looking
is.
at different things, and it's like, and I'm noticing that it's getting more and more like watching a movie on TV. Like, there's anything that's not happening to me directly, like if it's not like in my
Because
direct,
it's not your now. Very
then
good.
then it's a movie, like watching a movie on TV, because it's not in my reality. It's what I'm being told is happening by different reporters with different views,
Absolutely.
right?
So you take
So,
that as a truth or you don't. You
yeah,
attach
and
to
it's
it
like,
or just view it as a movie.
right, and
Master.
then it's like, well, even when you think about truth, well, what is truth? Because because there's truth in the 3D world, or this world of physicality, or this world that, you know, these bodies are in this physical world. There's
Yes.
truth of that, but then there's other layers of truths, right? There's the, you know, like when we go to sleep and we dream, we're in a different reality. When we, you know, like when we leave these bodies or whatever, we'll be in a different reality. So like truth in what reality, or truth in what realm, or like, you know, it's almost
Right.
like,
That's why you're in the truth in the now. That's why I only work in the here and the now. I'm
right.
not concerned about time, and I don't make time to do anything. I don't have time to do anything because I'm always now.
Yeah.
And now my life works out perfect because I'm not managing myself, trying to make myself something better and using time as get there.
Yeah.
So you're going to journey into all of these mindful truths, but what about the now truth? That's where
Yeah,
I live.
that's the
And
thing. It's
see,
just like
and what,
what's happening right now is what's real. Like
yeah, me and you.
everything else is a memory or projection, or
Memory,
you know, what we've
projection,
been
ideas
told,
of
or
what was, what could be. Yeah,
yeah.
very good.
And like some people think that I'm either delusional, or, you know, putting my head in the sand about what's really going on,
Yep,
or all these
yep,
different,
yep, there it is. Do you see
right?
that? What's really going on? See, that's their conviction and that's their truth. And now that comes at you and you look at it and go, well, you're right, man, I got to get back to reality. But I've been in reality that you live in and it fucking sucks. But see, if you go to your reality, your truth, you're going to notice one thing. You're always here, you're always now, and you're always perfect.
Mhm.
Time tells you everything else.
Yeah.
These people are telling you got back to reality because of all these things that are wrong and what's happening. But and when they're actually having that conversation with you, everything's fine.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is too is that I don't like I notice that I, you know, me as myself as Dee Black, you know, living on earth, that I have these preferences of which ones I want to align with, and so I kind of like, okay, I'll play the game.
Choice.
I'm aligning with the fact that, you know, light, you know, that, you know, goodness and light is kind of like what I more like align with and resonate with, even if I'm not saying that darkness and evil or whatever is like, it's kind of like, well, not everybody believes everything, right? Like it's impossible, because
Right.
you would be believing opposites, right? Like if you believe that the um the virus is being exaggerated in order to manipulate the masses, you know, by the 1%, then
That's their
then you,
reality.
then you can't at the same time believe that no, that's not what's happening. So it's like people pick and choose what they're going to believe, because you can't.
So that's why you pick your truth.
What was that?
That's why you pick your
Right,
truth. Who cares what
right,
anyone is truth?
right, exactly.
Can't do anything about them, and it's not your job to fix them because they're not broken. Why? Because they're individual creators who forgot that's on a journey of what? Self-discovery,
Yes,
evolution.
yeah,
Relax. Stop getting all hell bent like what people are thinking.
yeah, yeah,
Mask, no mask, this or that. But
yeah,
if that's your truth, then welcome to your world
right,
because that's the world you create through interpretation. Your relationship to reality is it.
right.
Fantastic.
Hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really fun and it's really free, and
Love
it's,
that realization. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I think it's really good. Yeah, and it's kind of like too. It's like it's fun actually. Like, you know, I was gonna say your program Odyssey of Ascension. Sometimes I want to
Yeah.
say the audacity of ascension,
The audacity of ascension. I love that. That's freaking funny.
isn't it?
The audacity of ascension. Why
Really,
did we do
no,
that?
because it's like we like this is fun, like it's fun to be a human on earth, especially when you know that, you know, you're going to shed this coat, and it's not you know,
Yes.
it's a dream in that sense that you're not going to stay in it forever, because everything changes, right?
Oh
Except for
yeah.
age.
When you start to take down your belief systems, here's what's the most absolute amazing thing I discovered about the journey. And Osifius got me there when I was channeling him, the effortless gods, right? Through allowance, through absolute no action on fear, no action on safety, no action on need, want, desire, have to, shoulda, coulda, woulda. All that just being the now, tearing down all these things. There's no other way to see reality except beautiful. And the beauty you see it is not the happy that we think. because we've discovered happiness as a moment of time and destination through effort. But I'm not talking about that kind of
Yeah.
happy. I'm
Yep.
talking about the state of being of absolute bliss that has
Yep.
nothing to do with the human emotion.
Right.
It's the
Yes.
awareness of your own existence, your isness. And it is phenomenal. And that is here and now because it's what we are naturally. When you take off the filters, you see reality. The unification occurs within, and then reality becomes beautiful no matter what's happening because you can't see it in that idea. People say, well, you have to see the bad in people. And I said, no, I don't see the bad. Well, you have to see the good in them. I said, I don't see good in people. I see people as the unconditional reality that they are, and I
Yeah.
let them journey. Because if I'm
Yeah.
going to interrupt them with my idea of what they're supposed to be, well, then I'm a tyrant. Not only to myself, but to the idea of them accepting me as tyrannical so they can change for the betterment to make myself feel good and go, golly gee, you were right. I don't want to lead people. I want people to see that they're beautiful already, and anything that in their interpretation of reality says reality is not beautiful, it's just a simple truth of separation. It's the master game of discovery. I mean, what better place to come to realize you're not a God, to realize you are a God? And literally a 100% creator of realities. Holy crap. Fathom that. And you get that through revelation, not destination, not effort,
Yes.
not all the mantras and all the cleansing and all the things you can possibly imagine to do. It's taking off everything to discover what you already are, and you never left home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so
Outstanding.
important. Yes, it's not a destination, it's a realization, right? That's huge,
Yep,
because it's not get
it is.
and with any other state of being as well, it's not a destination, it's a realization, right?
It's the experience of the attraction of now. I mean, after human, who knows what we get to do? I don't care. I don't need to know because I'm being the idea of the beauty of the now. And if it just vibrates, for example, and all of a sudden, hey man, Arcturian looks really fun, and I have an incarnation as an Arcturian. I'm still me, but I'm versioning myself as a relationship to reality, expressing Arcturian, but I'm still Roxanne. I'm still the knowing of myself, but my identity leaves, but my awareness is always knowing. The difference is I didn't know I was me. Now I do. And
Right.
now I'm remembering more and more of me.
Yeah.
Masterful. And you can't
Yeah.
label it. You can't define it. We want to put it on a box. What do you mean? What does that mean? I think one of the best things I discovered is I'm not a who. I'm a what. A creator that creates who's, creates identities, creates experiences. But the creator is what I am in isness. My own life itself realized, isness realized. Oh,
Yeah.
priceless.
Yeah. Because it's like, who am I? There's who am I, but then there's what am I, right?
What am I?
What am I?
I can do 1,000 who's. I got who's all over the world. Past who's, future who's.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter because I don't need that identity. I'm
Yeah.
enough as I am, and out of that I realize my own self through the evolution of remembering. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, so cool. Let me see what else I want
it
to.
is. And
Um,
we channeled and we taught and we created churches and we created countries and wars and technology. This whole game is just a masterful expression of the ability of creators getting together through one particular Willy Wonka chocolate factory tour called human. Wow. I'm sorry, go ahead. You had a
oh
question.
no, I love
What were
it.
you going to say?
No, it's so true.
Oh,
Okay, this thing about non-existence, it's such an interesting term because if like even the word like non-existence, that well, and maybe I'm getting too much into labeling things, but because
mhm.
that's a term, non-existence exists because it has a word, right?
But
And like
on this side of things, it exists as a relative reality, but it's actually doesn't exist. I think what it is when Bashar gave it was for the human to put things into a visual perspective to understand you're on this side of things. He goes, existence is full of all that is. Non-existence is full of non-existence. Those are the ideas. So we from existence can create a reality that says non-existence exists, although it doesn't exist because it's non-existence. So we
Yeah.
can never go to non-existence because in order to have an experience and realize you're in non-existence, you must be existing. And
Yeah.
that's on all that is side,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said it that way. Thank you.
It's like a mind twister or whatever here. Let's
Yeah,
to,
little mind bender.
I'm
Oh,
just
I love it.
curious about you because you had mentioned in one of your, I think when you were one of your recent interviews, and you said that you, when you wake up in the morning, you listen to some podcasts sometimes. And I'm just
Hmm.
curious about, do you have any favorite ones that you listen to, or?
Well, I did an interview that was from a guy over in Germany, and he gave me the app that he used called Podbean, Podbean.
Okay.
So Podbean was an app, and of course there's Stitcher and from Google, and of course iHeartRadio, and a
Yeah.
lot of ideas out there. But that's how we did it. And then one day I'm farting around with it, and I'm looking at it, and I see live, and there were live castings going on, live podcasts going on, because I had the news radio and uh, live radios, and you could tune in all over the world, and listen to live radio, right? I love technology. What a great freaking gift we gave ourselves. We created that for this connectivity. Oh, fantastic. So, anyways, so I'm listening to that. And of course, they got Joe Rogan on there, and they have a whole bunch of the greats, but they're recorded. And I
Right.
just start listening to the live ones
Okay.
because you can call and you can interact within real time. It's
Right.
just exciting for me. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I get to interact, I get to
Have you
talk,
done that?
right? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So I listen to the Ralph Williams podcast in the morning. There's the Talking Corner with a girl from Sweden. Her name is Craxx. She's a
Oh,
cracks. Um, she's an artist, and she also is a spider keeper. She keeps tarantulas. She has like 26 tarantulas. So, anyways, she talks about spiders, and I listen in, and I got to learn a lot about spiders. I never really had a problem with spiders. Cockroaches, really, really that? Oh man. Especially in Texas, you can ride them like they're on a rodeo, like they're a bull. There's so many. But spiders, I'm good with. But she educated me a lot about that, so I listened to her show, the John DeVito show, the Old Man podcast, and these are just groups of people that have connected the world. So people, all kinds of different countries, India, Iran, um, uh, from Germany, a lot of people from Germany, a lot of people from India, and of course a ton of people from America. Especially, they didn't have anything to do, so they're starting to lead the podcast, and we got this little community together, and we have experience. So I get to go on there and I get to speak, I get to offer. And it's good to have an in the now, you know. So you
yeah.
get to call up and be that voice, this conversation. This is a journey. We're not trying to make it into something because it's enough as it is. So if we be the authentic game without predicating it has to be something great and using the measurements of time on what we think is great is not going to jive with others. So we don't use polarity. We use authentic, which attracts people, and then they see the beauty of the moment in
Yeah.
in their way. So yeah, I love podcasts. I listen
Yeah.
to them every day.
Yeah. Do you find, is there anything that's where you've kind of changed your perspective like recently? Is there anything like any kind of like huge change?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I had anger still deep within me when the protests really started getting large
Right.
because I saw the depth of my hatred for the atrocities we would commit to each other because of something that was taught. And that's the value of the human. I saw a different layer of my anger towards people for being whatever they are, right? Killed just because they can. I was very angry with that. But that's not them. That's my anger. They don't for that. I do. Everyone is experiencing themselves. I can never feel for them. I can interpret death, right? I can interpret it through sympathy, compassion, empathy. I see an animal slaughtered and I can feel the pain of the animal, but that's not the animal's pain. I'm not that arrogant to really think I can understand someone else's point of view. I can only know me because I am. So, my truth. So, in the idea, the COVID 19, I just knew was excellent change, excellent opportunity for humanity to not see where we're going, to see what we're leaving by making different choices about ourselves, not to fix the problem, to realize the interpretation of reality. Reality is unconditional. We're putting our own conditions. The more people allow reality to be the allowance, the less people attract to that reality and more people attract to the light of the way shower, the natural self, the evolution, the ascension, blah, blah, blah. So then this came in, and the way President Trump was reacting to things, stoking the fire over here, then saying one thing: it's not real, it's nothing, and then it is. And then all this upheaval, and I was like, he's not a leader. He's adding fire to it. I got very angry. I got angry at myself, right? Because that's all I can get angry at. I can't, not assignment, not blame, guys. No, I'm not talking about assigning the anger to an idea of causality. That's the polarity. Trying to measure it, cause and effect. That's time, that's polarity, that's in and of itself the human journey, right? It was the anger that I was experiencing as myself, the true self I created through the idea of creation, and to master that through acceptance and realize that's myself. They're not doing anything wrong. Am I mad at the people killing them? Yes, I am. And I don't like for what they do, but I'm not going to stop them. I'm going to protest them. I'll let humans do that. What I'm going to do is allow them to be themselves, because that's not the natural state. Humans aren't conditioned. No one's conditioned. And if there's a way shower to offer an authentic self realized, like someone on Podbean needs to be a troll. If we don't give them energy, then they're going to go find another pod, or maybe they'll go find those that them trying to be trolls and get their attention by acts of, just sheer, because I don't know how to love myself, so I'm going to be an asshole to somebody, right? If we don't give them energy, then they can't be fed in that relative reality. Because if they're getting fed, I'm a narcissist, I'm an asshole, I'm a troll, and we're telling them to stop, we're feeding them. So if I'm going to feed the cops are wrong for killing them to the human side, yeah. Am I glad that he's going to get man one? I think it's man two. Yeah, I am as a human. But I'm also a creator realizing on an evolution. I'm not getting this right or wrong. I'm doing the journey. And this is what it takes. The amount of humility this takes is insatiable. It's a lot. You got to accept that my truth is I don't like what I saw in an unconditional reality. So I'm not faced with a wrong or a right. I'm faced with a condition that I created because I forgot when I got here. And I was just taught. My parents were not racist. They didn't like people. My mom, she didn't like fat people too much. But they were also Republicans. So when Roxanne came out, oh, they needed fucking drugs, didn't they? But what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Be for them? Make them happy? I'm going to let them see the authenticity in myself, that I am an authentic being as me. So I light myself up, and then they change their point of view or they turn away. If they co-create with me and I'm vibrating at a certain frequency, then they change their point of view to continue to vibrate with me. If they can't accept me, we don't have a reality. Doesn't mean I dim my light to make it because they're my parents and I owe them some. I owe nothing to anybody, and neither do you. So the reality of the Confederates and taking down the statues, and people were arguing, says like, oh, you're going to lose your history. Why would you do that? Someone had a thing that says, well, why aren't we taking the idea of the Holocaust? go to Germany and they have Holocaust museums. I told them, and I said, oh, let's do a newsflash here. The Holocaust has ended.
Is that?
Racism is still alive. It has ended.
Oh, right.
Hitler's no longer there, right? So they're not walking around, Jewish people walking around in the middle of an idea of a Nazi Germany, right?
Yeah.
Right? They're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's history. In the United States, the Confederate is current. It's a relationship. And of course, there's the arguments. And watch this. Pay attention now. The argument is, well, it wasn't about slavery. It doesn't matter what your truth is. It's the truth of the person that's being oppressed. And then this becomes an argument. And then I'm arguing for them. I'm taking a side. Holy shit. Because I was angry at that person saying that it's wrong to take down the statues, that to take down for a NASCAR and for the Marines to take down and no longer allow the Confederate flag. We're not going to forget it. It's still within the gestalt of us, but we don't have to commemorate it while it's going on. If we want to put it in a museum after it's been transcended, fine. But it's going on. So then I realize I have an emotion about this. I'm finding a deeper portion of my conditionings because I have sympathy, because I am a victim in an identity about my choice of transgender, of Roxanne. That's my sign language for Roxanne, you know.
But
I have an identity.
it wasn't
What?
really a choice. It's what you are, right? Like,
It's what I am in truth.
yeah, your
But
truth.
then I have the ability to change it because I'm not a conditioned being. I'm an unconditional being. So I have the humility to recognize that's my truth. I'm seeing them as wrong. That's me. So if I'm vibrating right and wrong, I'm feeding polarity. So
Yeah.
then I had to step back and accept it. And I was like, okay, that's another part of me. I'm
Mhm.
going to allow them to figure it out. I'm going to let justice serve. I'm going to accept reality as is. And some people like you said, oh, you can't hide your head in the dirt. Yes, I can. I can do whatever the hell I want. You don't need me to validate your truth because then you're depending on me to validate your own existence and you're enough as is. Trust it. So
Yeah.
you don't give yourself into an idea.
Yeah.
You humble yourself into the creator and you realize that
Yeah.
you chose a separated self for the experience of your mastery,
Yeah.
not for purpose and meaning and fixing the planet Earth. Nothing can die. Everything changes. Everything is transfiguration. Just
Yeah.
because it happens in 80 years doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because it's not valuable in the idea of the ego doesn't mean it's not happening. You're always changing. It's becoming aware of those changes and having the courage to let them go. But I
Mhm.
had to take a big pill and go, man, I'm upset about this. It
Yeah.
should be fixed. It should be better to each other. So instead of preaching it, Roxanne, humble yourself,
Yeah.
swallow your pride, and accept that and allow people to be that and represent the authentic realization of the self within. And those people who are ready to realize that enlightenment within, because it doesn't happen outside, because it's a freaking projection from the internal world, right?
Yeah.
Then offer that light to someone who's ready to understand themselves.
Because it's so interesting that different people can actually feel different things in their hearts about these scenarios. Because, like, in my heart, I don't believe that there's all this hatred and racism out there that they're trying. Like, I don't know why, but just like whenever I see that, I go like, to me, it feels like some kind of force is trying to lower humanity's vibration by making them outraged, and I
Very
don't.
good. Very good. So you're assigning that experience to some kind of force as the causality.
Yeah.
That's not standard. That's your truth.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dee's interpretation of the now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And that's all it is.
I feel the love of humanity. Like, I feel
Good. Then
humans
represent that.
love each other, and they aren't race. Maybe there's a few racists out there because they were taught it, but I feel like I don't believe it. I don't feel it in my heart.
Okay.
Humans love each other, and so it's kind of like, and
Perfect.
I can't say that to people, so I'm saying it to you. Oh, now it's going to be
Why
on video.
why can't you say that to
It's just that so it's like, and then different people feel in their heart different things, right? That they feel like, which is fine as well, and I respect it. It's a self-righteous,
Perfect.
the vibration,
But
the
hang
vibration
on, let me show you something.
is the same vibration
No,
of
no, no. No, it's not them.
it's me.
That's how you see them.
But then you see it like that too, because you see all these things that make you angry, right? And so
Right, because that's me though. It's not them, it's me.
so this whole that's what's so interesting about all of this, is that everybody is experiencing it in their own unique
As their individual
and
singularity.
there isn't even one reality.
Never.
There's never
How
one.
can there be one thing? There's always change. There's always an infinite number of versions of reality.
It's fun.
Thousands of bubbles, thousands of selves, all co-creating these little tiny bubbles of now.
Yeah,
So
it's
when you
fun.
say that's the way their heart says, that's your truth, the way you see them as their heart. You
Yeah,
have objectified that person as a truth. Good. I did too. I discovered it. I transcended it by accepting it and allowing them to be. I can't fix them, and I don't need to side with them
yeah.
because then I'm validating polarity itself.
Yeah. I mean,
Fantastic.
I allow them to be too, right? Because I mean, I have some
Yeah.
people that are very dear in my heart that are their vibration is in such uh, outrage that it's the same vibration almost to me as racist. But I don't judge it or anything. Like I just go like, I have to hold the space for this, right? Because this is the experience that these people want to have, and like whatever experience people want to have, to honor that,
Is
right?
up to them.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
But why do you have to honor them and why do you have to hold space? Do you think if you didn't hold space, it wouldn't go on? Or
No,
is
I mean
that
in
the
my
way?
heart.
Wait a minute. Wait. Or is that the way you see reality? That's the way you're interpreting. I'm holding space to allow them. But that's not their truth. You're
Right.
doing that for you.
Yes,
It's all about you.
it is for me.
Fantastic.
It is. That's why it. That's exactly why I'm
That's
doing it.
why it's true. You
I
are holding space,
yeah,
but only for you. It's all your world. The
yeah.
way you interpret reality is your singular experience of forever. I love it.
It's so true. It's like that's exactly why, because it's like that thing about where if somebody well, like it's kind of analogy a little bit, but like if somebody
Mhm,
does something, 10 years ago, somebody did something to hurt somebody, and
mhm.
then that person who did that totally forgot about it, right? And they're out dancing while the person 10 years later. So it's like 10 years later, you're pissed off about someone who's out dancing. They don't even know that
Yep.
you're pissed off about what they did. So that's the thing, is like it's all about how we're holding things,
Yes.
right?
You hold a grudge,
Yeah,
that's your truth.
yeah,
They're living rent free in your mind because you're holding that image as the past and you get the pain. They're not feeling the pain.
right.
No one's feeling what you are. You are your individual interpretation. But the wonderful thing I've discovered is there is a certain frequency of resonance that is human experience through what we would consider emotions, right? We have our and bottom of the scale. My suffering will never be the same as your suffering, and my joy will never be the same as yours. But I do have a limit to my bottom and a limit to my top because I'm couched in polarity through the eye of, I'm going to say truth lies in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So that's why me and you can look at one thing and have different versions of emotion about that. That's
Yeah.
horrible. Well, it's not really not that bad. Yes, it is. No, it's not. How is that possible? Because we're all individual truths, right? So I realized through the journey with Osifius and them and showing me beyond polarity lies motion. It doesn't mean you don't have experiences of feeling, but they're not couched in an idea of a definite emotion. Emotion is a standard. You say that's bad, you say that's right, you say that's wrong. That's your truth, that's your emotional relevance. When you get triggered, I got pissed off, that was my emotion about that situation. I took a conditioned a reality that was unconditional and I put it through my conditioned truth, which gave me the conditioned experience of that emotion. Perfect. I experienced that I am. I'm a master of polarity. But then when I realized I can allow that, then the relationship with that changed to beyond polarity. It's not emotional, it's not neutral, it's motion. And that's the thing that can't be explained because if you use human mind, you're only going to get the relevance of emotional value. And it lies beyond emotion. That's why the individual is the only one who can take you home. Only you can take you home, deconstructing the value of the truth of you that is no longer relevant and having the courage to let it go. So I was mad. I said, wow, that's me. It's not them, it's me. I can't take sides because if I take sides, I value emotion. I value humanity as polarized. I feed the hungry lion. If I offer an idea of change through acceptance and allowance to be that, I deplete the value of my emotional self and I see beyond polarity with experience of attraction. It
Mm.
comes to you with no cause, no intention. It's always there. It's just a realization. It's fantastic, Dee. Absolutely fantastic.
Wow, that's amazing. Because uh, two of the greatest polarities probably are good and bad and pain and
Hmm.
pleasure, right? There's probably
Hmm.
two of the greatest ones, and those like emotion driven, right? Would you say, or
I would say, yeah.
yeah?
My is if I'm looking to love my pain, I will create misery in toward to experience my pain. Sometimes pain comes through the idea of hurting another. It's so painful because I'm doing it as like making myself feel good. Swallow that wrong. Because pain is an emotion, but it's awesome if you really feel it because it's an experiencer. So a lot of people use pain as inflicting or victimization, right? I'm in pain. So that portion of reality as that identity is a usage. We use it to know ourselves. We identify with positivity. You should be positive. Don't make it mad. That. Everyone's telling us to act good and be good, but we can't act or be image. We have to discover. And since we all came here and only knew separation, well, we're automatically going to have 2 points of views within us. We're going to have the polarity, right? Some people, it's good to do this, be a good Samaritan, be a good citizen. And some people are natural at it. And some people try to be it. And some people are natural at being uh, bad, right? Because, you can look at causality. People's behavior is caused from the parents that they covet. Thank goodness that we're growing out the generation of alcoholics. We're getting better at alcoholism, but that's a point of view.
What do you mean by
Because
that?
I mean all the parents in the 50s and the 40s that were drunk and beating their kids and abusing them and telling them they were big pieces of crap
Oh yeah, yeah,
because alcohol is free. But that's a causality, isn't it?
yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
And then I started seeing I hated my grandfather for being a drunk, although he wasn't abusive. He was just a plain dick. And my dad was no better. He was drunk, and I didn't know he was drunk because I'm a kid thinking that's my dad. And his abuse was not physical, his abuse was mental. And so I failed him. My brother failed him. My mom failed him. And he was abusive to make them look stupid because he couldn't understand his own pain. So I'm looking at all the causality. So we use human emotions as experience. Does it suck? Oh, yeah. But as a master, you understand the relevance of it, the mastery of it, because you can't get this anywhere else without separation. There's other planets, I'm sure. There's other incarnations that understand polarity, but not to the height awareness of not as your entire birth is in couch identity. Seth called it an infatuation with the product. The personality that you produce in coveting ideas. You are infatuated and you know no other self. And as you journey and you realize your truth is a demand, a justification, or a standpoint against yourself, because creation attracted is creation itself unconditional, then the conditions you're seeing on creation are your truths, therefore your experience. I was like, holy crap. Wow. It's been me the whole time. So I had great hate and rage towards things that I saw these people growing up with, that I saw the pain, and the anger I would get for the people that were being abused because of these people. And I wanted to fix it, but I can't fix it because if I try to fix it, I'm feeding it. You ever try to fix someone?
Right.
You
Right.
ever get in an argument? You ever try to tell people they're wrong? Well, what do you get?
Resistance.
Some people go, oh, yeah, you're right. How
Yeah.
do I do that? And then you feel proud for fixing a person, but that doesn't fix them. That masks them in an image to get your love. You give people the courage to be themselves and journey within themselves to shed the truths. And there's no how, there's no book, there's no freaking manuscript, and there ain't no lead to do it. If a way worked by now, like Abraham said, we would have already figured it out. These are just realities of truth that are experienced. They're not purpose. We make them purpose because we need identity, which is the emotion of self-worth. I have an identity. I'm a monk. I'm this. I'm that. Look what I am. How about I am? So yeah. So
Yeah,
those things through using emotion is a tool that humans use to know themselves. And
right.
as atrocious as it looks, it's the mastery of this game. Bashar, uh, Jay-Z Knight, um, Abraham Hicks, Carla, all said this is a master class. We come here to come down and take a physical incarnation, which is very disturbing to push your whole gestalt into a baby that doesn't know anything, is very pressed. And oh my God, what the heck am I doing here? Right? And the only thing you know is what you see. So you learn moms, dads, authorities, teachers, whatever parental figure you had, whatever you coveted, it doesn't matter. So you look at these things and you start to see the truth of time, the truth of image, and it takes absolute surrender. When I channeled Jane Roberts in the 12 Indoctrines that they did in the mystery schools in Second Egypt, they were talking about the one school, ninth school, is vulnerability. Stop defending. Stop arguing. Give
Mhm.
up. And I was arguing against the person doing the wrong to the world, but it wasn't wrong. It was creation knowing itself. Because both of those entities are going forever. And they know a portion of themselves through this expression. And that takes a huge amount of allowance to understand that, especially when our only identity is birthed in right and wrong.
Mhm.
The human itself is polarized. The realization of that polarization through the awakener, and to transfigure that through acceptance of vulnerabilities and taking action on the truth of you in the moment, feeling know where your mind is and where your heart is, choosing the heart despite the fears, the gut wrenching that you might make a mistake or you will get judged or this might happen or that might happen. You stay in the now and says, I'm going to find out. I am, and I have to choose what I say. And then if I realize it's wrong, realize that's not a mistake. Because that's the idea of assignment. That's the standard that you're yourself accountable against someone else's truth. If I choose a truth, and 1 minute later I realize, no, that's not me. This is me. Well, then didn't I birth a self? If I didn't birth a self, I would have never known. And this self would be, oh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. What should I do? I make a choice and realize if that self is, this self is new, then I evolved. But we were taught to hold ourselves accountable. I remember when we played when we were kids, we never judged each other. We
Yeah.
always helped each other. We always helped each other. Then they took us to school and then taught me, oh, wow, you don't read very good. Here. Oh, you're excellent. We're going to put you separate. We're going to close it off. We're going to make you think better. Oh, the way I am is wrong. Yeah, you're going to have to earn your way through life. You're going to have to effort. You're going to have to do hard work. You're going to have to buckle down. You're going to have to become something. Because right now, you're a big piece of shit born of original sin. So you're going to have to defile yourself because you're here. And
How
you're going to have to
lovely.
work your way out of that. But you're not once you realize that. That's just a construct. It's not the standard. The standard is what you were taught. This is why we have division. This is why we have countries and flags and war and rights and wrong, because we see the world polarity. But the world isn't polarized. We are. And when you represent that authentic allowance, the natural self will come to, and people will not behave that way. Did you ever notice people saying, well, they might do that, might do that? And I said, would you? And they go, well, of course not. Okay, then don't worry about them. Because if you feed that, then you'll create that in your reality.
Mhm.
You'll create that differentiation. You'll create that separation within yourself. Represent the authentic creator in allowance, and be the unconditional authentic self that enlightens the self so others may know themselves through your enlightenment. Doesn't make you better, doesn't make you a leader. It makes you a light bearer. All you're doing is taking off the things that kept you dark, and not dark as a negative, dark in realization. It's a
And
master class, and it is a bitch. Jesus.
because the master class has polarity, or it wouldn't, I mean, you have to have polarity to have this master class, right? Because that,
Right.
yeah.
If we had connection, we're all love. What are we doing?
Yeah,
We're having
exactly.
another incarnation that's not polarized.
Yeah.
This is total separation to where the memory doesn't realize its connection. There's no remembrance. Although
Yeah.
we do remember a lot of fun things as we're growing up,
Yeah.
especially when we don't have so many filters. Those imaginary friends that we were talking to weren't imaginary,
Oh, yes.
but they were told, oh, that's just your imagination.
Exactly.
Oh, they have such a big imagination. Come on, kid, get back to reality. Get serious. Come on.
Yeah.
Make me proud. And then you fail
That's
your parents.
one of my favorite ones. Face reality. It's like
Face reality.
face
I'm
reality
here.
means face your reality. It means you want me to face
This
your
is,
reality.
isn't this real? Feels real to me. Oh, it's not your real. Oh, goodness. Have a Coke and a smile. Bye-bye.
Smile. Ay, ay, ay. Do I remember correctly that your parents were not as upset about your trans sexuality as they were about you channeling? Is that, do I remember that correctly?
They were off the scale on both of them. The
Oh, okay.
transgender was a little tough for them at the time, and
Right.
then the channeling became a little tough for them at the time. Both time they thought I needed medical attention. They
Oh,
thought I needed to be put away,
yeah. But are they okay with
medication.
it now?
Oh yeah, they love me now.
That's
Yeah,
great.
because I held my light, and they say, well, we may not like the piercings in Roxanne, but she's pretty cool. I like her. She's better. I love her. We talk. We have conversations.
Yeah.
I had to go through my rage with them. They had to go through their rage with me. But they're masters. They're not parents. They're not humans. They're creators of the experience. You know. So I allowed them, and I kept them being my truth. And they would come and say, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, how you doing?" You
Oh,
know. And now they're living their lives. They're still. They realize life is too beautiful to get angry about and to take sides.
yeah.
So,
Nice.
you know,
That's
yeah,
good.
we have relationships. My
Yeah.
mom actually shares recipe with me. I've been cooking for 8 months and love it, and now she's like, oh yeah, make this and this, and and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I remember last time I talked to you, you were making a beef stew in your crock pot, and I could smell it all the way from here.
Oh, so
How was it?
yeah,
They're slow cooker, whatever.
yeah. And I've learned so many new dishes, and especially now, uh, I mean, I've been working at home for 8 years, but there just seems a lot of time since I'm not going out to the malls, being out to friends, or we're doing whatever. We're staying in here. It's a funny thing. I've kind of written off 2020, right? I was like,
What was
yeah,
that?
20. I've written off 2020.
Oh, you written it off.
I'll come back in
We're
20,
halfway done.
2021. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, so I've discovered casseroles. I discovered, what was fascinating was understanding cooking itself. Bread, eggs, uh, breadcrumbs, spices, how it mix in, how things would actually work when you cooked. And it's fantastic. It is so fun. And then, oh my God, iron skillet cooking.
Oh,
Stop. stop. I was like, my mom brought me 4 iron skillets, different sizes, and then how to take care of them and all that. It's like, oh, so yeah, I'm, you know, Tommy is like, fantastic, fantastic, because I'm cooking all of these different meals, and it's just a wonderful journey of discovery that we're in a physical world and we can cook, and the different things that we can learn to and just the different stews. My okra gumbo, one of my favorite dishes. I love okra and I love gumbo, and I put it together, and then I add my little kitchen witch spices in there and do it my own little flair, and
Mm.
oh, it's just
You're making me
wonderful.
hungry.
Uh,
I've said this before, and I'm just going to say it again. Like one of the things that just I love about you, and you inspire so many people, is because you have that audacity. Like you have the audacity to be yourself, and that is so motivating and inspiring. To go like you can just be. You're so comfortable with who you are, and
yeah.
it's just like it ripples out to the rest of us to to
You
be
know,
like that.
one thing about that, the audacity to be yourself, is I love the way you said that. Because I did that. I did interview with Extra Dimensions with Ruben Langdon, and that was on Gaia TV. And so I got a lot of people attracted to my reality. And everyone that says I found you on Gaia says you were so authentic, Roxanne. You were just so you. You had the courage to be you. That's what attracted me. And
Yes.
you always realize that, guys. That's not special. That's natural. You
Oh.
know. Everyone is authentic. Everyone is so beautiful. You just have to have the courage to realize and journey within, have the audacity to bring out that authentic self. It won't look like me because I'm me. Discover the natural of you. When you don't know who you are, go find out. Tyranny.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah. Thank you. Because like and you've inspired me because like even me doing this channel, it's like I know that there's
Yeah.
people that are laughing at me behind my back and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
And let them.
And like exactly. And it's just like I have to be true to myself. And because I would rather
Yes.
be myself, and have people, laugh at me behind my back than not be myself. It's more painful. It's painful to not be yourself.
Right. It hurts to
Yeah.
always maintain an image. Think
Yeah.
about how many images. We have our husband and wife image, our kid image,
Yeah.
our work image, our friend's image, and we're always changing ourselves to fit the moment. How about being an idea dragon, and whatever that dragon looks like, it's
Yeah.
not the dragon scary, it's the dragon of authentic. The audacity to be I am without bending your life for another because of their feelings, because of their needs and their wants, or because of your truths. Don't be afraid of you. And then when you discover self, have the courage to let it go, because that's faster, because the journey is inside. I love it.
That's so beautiful. That's a beautiful note to end on. We've done our hour. I can't believe how it
Oh
flew.
yeah, it's over an hour. Wow, yay.
I know, I know. Thank you so much, Roxy. I love
You're
you
welcome,
so,
baby.
so, so much. And we'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
Talk to you in the next now. I love you.
Yeah, love you too. Bye.